Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, taking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day, and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, for life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, you're not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind at all. Wake and bake won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind at all. My grind is green, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind goats, a line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in. I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates and Kevin Bacon. Separation, next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Hello everybody, welcome in. I do apologize, we're slightly behind schedule here tonight. I had a little complication finding the servers tonight, and that's on me, but we are here, we are live, and we've got the Infinite Racing League Fall Series finale here tonight, and the layout tonight is very simple. Double sprint races, two 30-minute sprint races, and pre-qualifying ahead of both those sprint races. So what we see on screen right now is actually qualifying. Qualifying started about, I don't even know how long ago, 3-4 minutes ago, something like that. So we have about 5.5 to 6 minutes remaining here in this first qualifier run, and this is going to determine the grid for race number 1. Then we'll see a second 10-minute qualifier, and that qualifier will determine our grid for race number 2. So for finale this week, I don't even know who's fighting for the championship. I got to get myself up to date a little bit here and up to speed on who's fighting for where, and I'll do that through the broadcast here as we get settled in to the Infinite Racing League racing here tonight. But we have seen some huge healthy grids here all season long. This is probably one of the smallest grids we've seen here this season. 19 drivers on track, it looks like. So should be an interesting day, but we have seen some weather passing through Misano here today, through practice runs and all that fun stuff throughout the day. So the drivers right now have some dry conditions to qualify in, but that weather at any time could potentially turn here. So the fans have brought their umbrellas and their raincoats just in case, and the drivers have that extra strategy just in case the weather changes on them here. So welcome in everybody. I see you over there, Chris, and Paradise. Hope you're doing well, Daniel, my guy. We're just gonna go check on everything else moving and grooving everywhere else here. Make sure everything's running the way it really should be. And it seems like that is the case, so fantastic news. Good luck, drivers. Appreciate you, Joe, my guy. John coming in with that thumbs up on the stream as well. Alright, so up to speed. There is no mandatory pit stop requirement here, of course, tonight for the finale night due to the two 30-minute sprint race formats. So I honestly have no idea how much time is left. There we go. In qualifying, 3 minutes and 40 seconds here. So right now we have McCrank. He's currently sitting in 11th position in qualifier number 1. We have Irish Jerry making a mistake there in qualifying, currently sitting 13th here in qualifier number 1. We have Fish currently sitting in P1 and parked in the pits. Must be happy with his qualifying lap. We got Racing Hobo in 17th. We got Tango 2 in 8th place here. We've got Zur City in 6th place. Got JP, who I would imagine is up in the conversation for the podium here at the end of the day today, in 2nd place currently on the racetrack. We have Bombastico in 14th position. We have JDR, nice to see JDR back, in 9th place as well. We have Yakast here in 10th. We've got Cletus here in 5th, our usual suspects. Fluka here in 4th. Delta Mike here as well in 17th position. We got Choco on track here, stepping out of the booth and jumping back in the race car. Here currently sitting in 11th position. We've got the Damn Cat in 16th there, I see. We got Eris Ribos in 7th position. We've got Seal here in 12th. There's TDC, the Damn Cat, right there in 16th. Johnny B, who I would imagine is in this conversation here at the end of the season as well, currently sitting in 3rd place. And while we're sitting on board with, let's go back to Johnny B right now, and I'm gonna go take a peek and see what I can learn about who is where coming into the race here. So just give me a moment. This will just take a couple of minutes, mainly because I got to open up another thing on my computer. Alright, so we have a JP indeed coming into tonight's round. Ooh, these might be unofficial results here. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Alright, well, we can only go with what we have sitting in front of us, right? So, the information I have currently sitting in front of me now, this is right off SimGrid. Now, of course, sign-ups for these races are through SimGrid, so www.thesimgrid.com, all lowercase letters, if you're wondering what it is. And what it is the host site for ACC leagues. Disqualified for driving in wrong direction, number 64. Ooh, wow, okay. Interesting. I'm not sure how that works. I've never seen that before. So, and one of the partners here at Infinite Racing League, and of course, huge shout out to Coach Dave Academy, as always, absolute legends over there, those guys. But it is JP Dub in the lead with what I'm looking at, 183 points. We have Johnny B with 165 points, and we have Eris Ribos in 3rd place with 144 points, and just nipping underneath Eris Ribos there, I believe, is Fluka with 142 points in 4th place. We have Butler Racing there in the Vantage there in 5th place as well. So what I see as a real names, obviously I'm not trying to give any personal information away without the drivers knowing, so I'm going to do my best to put the names to the titles, but I don't know this community as well as I know my own, obviously. So our top 4 though, in striking distance for sure of scoring big points, and because it's a double sprint round format, that means there's 2 sets of points available tonight as well, right? So it's basically a double points round here tonight. So every position, every little mistake, and every little thing that goes on obviously is going to matter here today. How you doing, John? Hope you're doing fantastic, my dude. Alright, Just trying to get my computer to settle itself down here. So it is JP leading the championship, but he's got a healthy lead. It's 18-point lead currently over Johnny B, and Johnny B has a 12-point lead over third place driver Eris Rebos, and then he's only got a very small margin of Fluke of 2 points sitting there in third place. So qualifier 1 is Fish and Pole, JP in second, Fluka in third, Eris Rebos in fourth, Johnny B in fifth, Cletus in sixth, McCrank in seventh, Zur City in eighth, Choco in ninth, Tango 2 in 10th, Yakas in 11th, Seal in 12th, Irish Jerry in 13th, Delta Mike in 14th, El Bombastico in 15th, Damn Cat in 16th, Racing Hobo in 17th position, and JDR in 18th position. So that was qualifier number 1. We'll be seeing a second qualifier here shortly. Alright, so we had Fish qualify in pole position this time around. So let's sit on board with this driver for qualifier number 2 and see if he can repeat that performance. It looked like he did a one and done kind of qualifier there. It was a great lap, and he must have been pretty happy with it. And it's 1.2 seconds faster than our current championship points leader, JP, coming into the final round here tonight. So incredible pace coming from WRL's Fish here, and he's looked good all season long as well. So Misano's a very tricky circuit, and like I said, the weather is 50-50 here today. It could very well be some wet racing here for these drivers today, so that's going to make things interesting, that's for sure, if the weather goes on the wet side here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Currently nice dry conditions here for our qualifying weather, but it is looking quite cloudy here in the forecast on the top right hand side of the screen. 20 degrees Celsius outside the track is also at 20 degrees Celsius, so a little cool for these racing tires. It could use to be a few degrees warmer to have those optimal grip levels, but not too terrible. Should also be good for tire wear, having a slightly cooler racetrack, but lots of clouds up in the forecast over the next 30 minutes or so here. Aaron coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? It was JDR that had got the DQ for driving backwards on the racetrack, so I'm not sure what that was about, but definitely something I've never seen before. That was a first, so black flag thrown to the Lamborghini driver in qualifying number 1, and I have no idea what that means, but we'll find out. Howdy, howdy, how you doing, Aaron? Alright, well, now going to, apparently we're gonna race. Okay. I never know how the format's gonna go when it comes to ACC. Sometimes you do both qualifiers ahead of time and then you do both races. Sometimes you qualify and then do the race. So, sorry for the wrong information. Apparently it's gonna be a qualifier, then a race, and then a qualifier, and then a race. So, it's raining. As I was talking about earlier, that weather has indeed turned the corner. And these drivers are now going to be, well, in for a wild ride. Just ending the day the same old way. Hey, cheers, brother. Hope it's been a good day. Hope the fam jam and the little one are doing good. Alright, so now the forecast over the next 30 minutes is rain, 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 a whole lot of rain, and track conditions are greasy, which means not going to be optimal for race start here. The drivers are going to have a dicey turn 1 here once we do our virtual safety car laps. So slippery track conditions. And like I said in practice earlier, we're checking things out here, seeing what the kind of times were, seeing which drivers we should be looking out for here tonight on the track, those types of things. we saw some rain, so we're not surprised to see the rain. We're not surprised to see the rain. Alright. So you can see another minute start here. We're going to jump on board with our second place driver in the standings here coming into race number 1 tonight. And follow him around here for the first lap on the racetrack. Besides her teeth coming in and making her miserable, oh, that's such a tough time for the kids, isn't it? Oh my. We used these like soft little chewy things that you could put in your freezer and you freeze them for when they're teething, and the combination of the cold and the chewing of the whatever it is, I can't remember what they're called, seem to help a little bit with the teething, I guess. Maybe you know, the ice and the chewing kind of helps break those babies through, you know. Alright, so we're going to see a virtual safety car lap here. I was a little hesitant to talk about that because sometimes they only see a couple corners and these drivers take off, but it does appear that because they're lined up at the start-finish line, that the drivers are going to do a virtual safety car lap around the racetrack here today. We got to go post the streams apparently because just not having a good time. Sorry to hear, my guy. It'll pass, thankfully. Can you do me a favor, Aaron? Can you go share the stream out the Discord server in the Winners Lounge for me? For some reason, it's not auto-posting it. Appreciate it, my guy. Alright, so we're on a virtual safety car lap here. That's why I'm not talking about what's happening here. So I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having things not working since the stream broke down 3 weeks ago. So apparently we haven't 100% fixed everything yet, but at least we're live. That's the important thing, right? In the wet sounds like a nightmare. That might be why we have a smaller grid size here. It's a very tough racetrack to begin with, so yeah, maybe the wet conditions have decided to keep some cars at the paddock, so to speak, here. So WRL Fish is our pole sitter here, and again, we're about 2/3 of the way around the racetrack. We'll see these guys line it up 2 by 2, and I think we're getting pretty close to that point here now, and then these drivers are going to roar into turn 1 here to start this sprint race number 1, 30-minute race. No pit stop requirements here tonight, and that was a 10-minute qualifier to set the grid up for this one. So after race number 1 here, we will lead into a qualifier number 2 for 10 minutes to set up our lineup of drivers in race number 2. I thought I was going to cough. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so drivers are just getting their last minute, try to warm the tires up, try to get your brakes kind of warmed up here. It's really tough in wet conditions as well, so get ready to go. We're about ready to see a green flag here, ladies and gentlemen. So as soon as race control is satisfied with that lineup, the green, they're going to drop that green flag, kick them tires, light them fires. We're already racing, chat, and we are with our 5th place qualifier here right now, coming into turn number 1. We had 3 wide in the mid-pack there as they're coming through, but it looked like everybody made it through pretty safe and sound here so far. I don't see any yellow flags, and I don't see any cars in the background on the radar. They're seeming to be in trouble, so good race start here from our racing group here this evening at the Infinite Racing League. And we got an inside attempt here from, I'm not sure which driver that is, I think that is Cletus, on Johnny B there. And a nice little healthy battle happening here. We got McCrank getting it a little bit wrong on the exit there, and it does a great job of gathering it up. So inside position here for Cletus coming in on Johnny B. And Cletus is going to get the job done. Johnny B settles right back in behind, and very early position there from Cletus. We got McCrank, it looks like they're deep on the inside. That might have been trying to take a look there, but didn't have the run, as got a Lamborghini up on the inside there, making the move on McCrank there as well. So I don't have the names up. There we go. Zur City, that's it. For some reason the game doesn't show us the information right after the race start. Got it shared, forgot I needed to change my Discord name. Oh yeah, you're all good, homie. You're all good, brother. You can just go into your profile and you can just change your main server name, and then you don't have to worry about it, dude. My dude. Alright, so that was McCrank. I wasn't wrong on that, but it was Zur City. We weren't sure of the green Lamborghini. So that was a nice little move there by Zur City. Irish Jerry here in 17th position. El Bombastico right there in 18th place. So it is Fish. It's Fish in the lead of this race. Quick driver. Racing Hobo currently sitting in 16th, just in behind the Damn Cat right now. And, ooh, the Damn Cat gets it a little bit wrong there around turn 1. And that's going to be a freebie there for Racing Hobo. So a nice easy position gain there for Racing Hobo with the mistake from the Damn Cat, and he's going to drop down a position here, but very early on. 30 minutes is not a long time, but a long enough time, especially in the wet. It's probably an eternity, I'm sure, in the wet conditions. Tango 2 here in 9th position. And a little bit of pressure there from Yakast in the Audi in behind here, but no immediate real pressure, just he knows he's there. And there's a little gaggle of cars up in behind with Seal, Choco, JDR, and the Lamborghini there as well, who was black flag in qualifying, so that put him at the back of the grid at race start. JP still sitting in second place, qualified behind Fish, and doing a pretty good job here. But Fish very early on already starting to open up a gap here. He's got it opened up to 1 second on our championship points leader JP. We've got Fluke just in behind there in third place, and Eris Rebos there right in behind Fluke. And big implications here. Obviously are going to be between JP and Johnny B, and Fluke, Johnny B, and Eris Rebos. So those top 4 drivers still in striking distance of potentially stealing a spot away from the driver ahead of them, or losing touch with the driver ahead of them, depending on how race 1 goes here. El Bombastico in 18th position. He's just tucked right in behind Irish Jerry there. We got a car stranded there off in the background. It was Delta Mike in 18th position there now. It's just waiting for the traffic to clear, and that's around that absolutely second last corner. It's a devastating corner if you get it wrong, unfortunately. And in the rain, I couldn't even imagine. We got JDR here in 13th position. So this is a driver that got disqualified and qualifying for driving backwards on the racetrack, is what race control had said. And up in the 13th position, so up about 5 positions from race start here so far. And starting to reel in Racing Choco, up in 12th place in the Ferrari up ahead there a little bit as well. Ooh, we've seen a little bit of an attempted look there from Seal up ahead in the Porsche on Yakast as well. And maybe that was just a little mind game show there, but you definitely seen a little move there from the Porsche for a second. Maybe just took a look. And he's just tucked in behind Yakast in the Audi there right now as well. And we got a nice little 5-car group here. They're clustered up together, and then we got a few cars just up ahead of them here. So let's stick with this pack for a couple of minutes here and see if any of them can get anything done here in this little group train of cars we got. Yakast holding strong here in 10th. We got Tango 2 just up ahead there in 9th place. So Yakast is in a tough spot. So is Seal, and kind of so is Choco. They're all in a defensive / offensive position here. They don't want to let the driver in behind an opportunity to attack, because that's going to obviously lose a position on the driver in front. Looks like McCrank in trouble there, off into the final corner, off in the grass and the wall there as well. So he's going to draw back a few spots, and all these drivers are going to pick up 1 position there, as that driver was in a little bit of trouble off the racing track there. But Yaka's doing pretty good, so it's tough when you are trying not to leave a hole open for the driver in behind you, but you're also trying not to lose touch or still attack. In this case, Tango 2 up ahead of him in the Mercedes at the same time. So this is full focus mode here right now. Plus we throw in the wet conditions and tough racing out there tonight, that's for sure. Riley, how are you, my guy? Ferrari movie? Nice, nice. I hope it was good. The Ferrari would be a handful. I think a lot of these cars are probably a handful in these conditions. We got Cletus here in 5th place, and I'm not seeing Johnny B. Johnny B down in the 13th position here, so a little bit of trouble for Johnny here as well in race number 1, and that is good for Fluka and Aris Rebos right now. So we've seen Johnny B come do some pretty incredible recoveries here, but when you're not having any cars making pit stops unless it's due to damage at this point in a race like this, it is you put yourself at a massive disadvantage with damage on that race car. So we'll see what Johnny decides to do here. And unfortunate to see, because Johnny B is a competitor and he is not going to be happy with himself about that, I'm sure. Oh, and there we go. We got some lag going on there for one in the server. I think that's kind of sorting itself out. TDC there dropping down to 18th position, of course, with an incident. I'm not sure if it was an incident with another car on track or if it was just a self-induced incident, but there's definitely some damage on the right-hand side of the Mercedes of the damn cat. There we see Johnny B here. He's got some front-end damage here on this racing car, and that's going to definitely affect the way this car grips the road and handles here, especially in these wet conditions. We have McCrank here up in 6th. We've seen him in a little bit of trouble. He was off in the right-hand side grass out of the final corner here just a couple laps ago, and up into 6th place here. So the drivers are definitely struggling with the conditions here on the racetrack. Today we have Irish Jerry here in 16th position. We still got Fish in the lead of this race, and he's opening the gap up to JP here. He's got it opened up to 2.4 seconds now. So very good consistent pace here coming from our McLaren driver, WRL Fish. JP, our championship points leader, coming into the finale night tonight here. Not able to reel in Fish right now, but Fish is not where his battle is here tonight. His battle is with Johnny B, and right now Johnny B is not having an ideal race number 1. So JP is in a good position here. So now it's Fluka and Aris Rebos here that may be able to grab some pretty important points here in race number 1 and change things up in the top 2 and 3 here potentially as well. We got a little mistake here from the Racing Hobo, and these wet conditions are just trying on these drivers here tonight. Tango 2 and back to this pack of cars. This is these guys are still fairly close together here. We have Tango 2 in 8th place. We've got GLR Seal right in behind him here in 9th place. Yacast is just in behind those two in 10th. JDR is still right there in 11th. So some of the cars have kind of bobbled around there. We've got Choco just in behind there, a little bit behind this group now, and the other car that is battling with him, Johnny B, it looks like, I think there. So Johnny B has made position up on Choco here, and now trying to catch up to this 4-car pack up ahead here. So, and again, led by Tango 2. So Tango 2 has done a pretty good job here at controlling the pace of this mid-pack. He has Seal all over the back bumper of him here. So Seal has gained a position. He's managed to find his way around the Audi of Yacast here in the last lap in a little bit. And now kind of applying the pressure here on Tango 2. It is not forceful pressure, but it is, hey, I'm right here, man. And if you make one little mistake, I am going to try and get the job done here. So it's pressure, but it's not immense pressure or aggressive pressure. Thomas is coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Hope you're doing good, my dude. If you're commenting on YouTube and I don't see it, I apologize. It's just not showing up on my stream if that is the case. Alright, Tango 2 here. He's doing a great job. I mean, Tango 2 is a long-standing member here at Infinite Racing League. He's been racing for as long as I've been working with the group here. And he's been doing really good here in this Mercedes here today in this race. Ooh, and just as I say that, I commentated, cursed the poor guy. He can totally blame me for that. Anyways, nonetheless, that doesn't change the fact that he's been showing great improvements this season, and that was just really unfortunate right there. The car just broke free coming around the final corner and lost that traction, and that was a hard hit into the racing wall there, and you hate to see it. That is heavy damage right there on that race car. That race car is probably not too happy here at the moment. So you can see he's pretty much got this thing at a full 90-degree rotation, just kind of keeping it straight. So he's got some pretty big damage here, and that is unfortunate. You hate to see it, but he will move past it, and race 2 is a whole new race. Of course, this race is still 18 minutes left, and with the issues we're seeing some of the drivers having here, you're definitely not out of it. By any stretch of the imagination, but definitely not helpful in the case of grabbing points here today. JP in second place, is 3.3 seconds to the race leader here, so the race leader slowly but surely continues just to open the gap up little bit by little bit. Fluka within a second of JP here, so Fluka seems to be reeling JP in a little bit here under these wet conditions today. At Misano, we've got Bombastico in 17th position, and this is a driver that's been clearly, as we can see, having a few struggles on the racetrack here in race number 1. Got JDR here in 11th position, and the car is nice and clean here, so hasn't had any those kinds of troubles here by any means. And working on trying to get around Yakas. Now Johnny B's made his way around Yakas here as well, and Johnny B's now trying to track down Seal and Seal, I guess. We've seen Tango 2 have an unfortunate incident there coming out of the final corner last time around. Cletus is up in 5th place here. He has Ares Rebos just up ahead of him in the Porsche. Currently sitting 3rd place in the points driver right now, but Fluka is ahead of him, so Fluka could not all that up here in this race, depending how this race finishes out for these two. Cletus 3 seconds in behind our 4th place driver Ares Rebos here in race number 1. We've got Fluka here in 3rd place, and again, good position for Fluka, because right now he's 2 points behind Ares Rebos in the standings for 3rd place overall, and they've got about, I think it was like 12 or 15 point spread to 2nd place driver Johnny B, who is some cars down behind him right now for the time being, but he is definitely trying to charge up through the field here, grab what he can. We got Delta Mike, and Delta Mike is, a little bit of a moment there. As you can see, Fish is having to navigate around there, and I think that was in response to the blue flag being waved when he was coming around the corner. There you can see he's coming into pit lane here. The car is pretty battered up. Got Choco here up into 11th place, and he is tucked right in behind Yacast here right now, and just in behind is JDR. And car's in good, clean condition here. Both these cars. Oh, and there it is. Oh boy, that rain again, and just a little snap oversteer coming from the Audi there, and that's going to send Yacast off into the runoff on the left side there, and Choco just avoiding him there. That was a great job by Choco. Not only to not hit him, but also get that Ferrari back under control. As you can see, it tried to step out there right before he got back on the throttle, so Choco had to make a quick movement there, but he manages to get through and moves himself up into 10th place. A great reaction time there by Choco. Ares Rebos here, he's in 4th place, 5 seconds in behind Fluka, and he's got 3 seconds, maintaining that 3 seconds on Cletus in behind here for the time being. We've got Seal and Johnny B here in 8th and 9th place, and we're going to sit here for a minute, because every time I seem to leave Johnny B is when he decides to make a pass. So let's sit here for a lap and see what happens here. And oh, there we go, there's the mistake, right? GLR Seal goes wide, and Johnny B gets the freebie. So Choco now cruising in on GLR Seal here, and what was a 5-second gap is now turned into a 2.5-second gap here for Choco. So little mistakes here in this on this racetrack in these wet conditions is really proving to be difficult here for these race car drivers. This Mercedes is just all kinds of beat up here from the damn cat right now. As he's getting this thing around the racetrack here in 16th position, we got Johnny B is now up into 8th place with the mistake we've seen from Seal there. So not having to battle too hard for these positions, which is a good thing for him, as he's trying to gain as many positions back up the field as he can. As we're halfway through the race here, so 15 minutes remaining, and he's got 3 positions in between him and Ares Rebos in the Porsche. We got McCrank here in 6th place, and JP dropping down here in the 5th place. He's making a pit stop here. Got Average Jerry in 14th position. We got Fish here in first. We got Racing Hobo here in the 13th. We got Tango 2 here in 17th position. We got Azure City now coming out of pit lane. We got JP in pit lane. So there must be some pit stops involved here today, and by design, by choice. I'm not 100% sure, because as far as I understand, we do not have any mandates on pit stops here for this week's race. Yeah, no pit requirements. So this is scheduled pit stops. This is a part of these driver strategy, and didn't expect that myself. I figured for a 30-minute race we were just going to see these drivers kind of full sended for 30 minutes, but strategies at play. JDR here in 9th position. Yacast here in 16th position, sitting in pit lane. We have Cletus here in 4th place right now, taking advantage of some pit stops being had up in front. So Fish is in the lead with 13.5 second gap over second place driver Fluka, who has a 7-second gap over Eris Rebos, who has about 1.4 seconds on Cletus. So Cletus is reeling Rebos in here slowly but surely. Fluka now currently sitting in the 2nd position. Got Delta Mike here in 18th. We got Choco in 8th place here now. Of course, some pit stops happening. He's grabbed a couple of free positions with that. So looking good here so far on the racetrack. We got Eris Rebos in 3rd place. And like I said, Cletus is hounding him. Cletus is like right on him here now. The gap was at 1.7. Now he's got it down to under a second. Definitely starting to feel the heat a little bit here is Eris Rebos on Cletus, and the one thing that Rebos doesn't need right now is to have a car in between him and Fluka. GLR Seal in 9th position, another Porsche driver here as well. He's just coming around the final corner there right now, and I can imagine it's a nail biter every time these drivers coming around the corners here today with these wet conditions. We've seen lots of drivers just having those little mistakes, crazy moments, cars doing things they maybe aren't expecting under braking and acceleration conditions. We got TDC here in 14th. So that puts Johnny B now up into 6th position, still carrying that damage. Whether or not a pit stop is in his strategy, we don't know. We'll have to wait to find out. We got McCrank here in 5th place, and he has Johnny B trying to chase him down 5.5 seconds behind. McCrank is on Yacast, who is a lap car right now, as he has pit and Yacast has not. Irish Jerry here, number 111 McLaren here, sitting in 12th place right now. A little bit of damage on that racing car, and a lot of the drivers dealing with their own forms of nicks and scratches on those paint jobs here tonight. But it is Fish charging here, and fastest driver on the racetrack right now with a 137.875 here as well, so holding that fastest lap, which is obviously an important point to have in the back pocket. Got Racing Hobo here in 10th position. Tango 2 is now in 17th, and I feel so bad for this guy. He was having a great race. He was doing a great job running the pace of that mid-pack, and it just had that moment out of the final corner and then getting into the wall. So currently sitting in 17th after that repair work in pit lane. Azure City has a Fluka barreling down on him here. So Fluka is a lead lap car, where Azure City in this situation is going to be a blue flag car. So at some point I do expect to see Azure City just get out of the way of Fluka here when Fluka closes in a little bit. Of course, Fluka's not really close enough to do anything right now anyways, and it's just racing awareness with your drivers, so these guys know exactly what to do here. And the blue flag's definitely being waved to the Lamborghini driver right now, but again, Fluka's not right there on top of him, so there's no real immediate need to give the position up here. But see if we see the Lamborghini stay a little wide coming into the corner here. No, I thought Fluka might have been close enough to try and dip up the inside here, but indeed the Ferrari has not been able to gain quite enough on the Lamborghini here for the easy go around here. And I guess it all depends on if the drivers up front are making a pit stop here or not. And you can see Fluka maybe looking for a cutback here. He took a real wide entry, and he's going to stick to the outside there. That was a great job there by Azure City. A little bit of erratic get off the racing line there with Fluka. Did a great job at navigating around as our city gets out of the way there at the nearest available moment. So, and that's kind of what you expect to see out of your blue flag cars if there is in that situation. That was perfect. He just monitored the gap between the lead lap car coming up to himself, and then from there made that determination, went, okay, you know what, he's close enough, now it's just the time to kind of get out of the way. So we got JP here in 10th place right now. And remember, this is our championship points leader coming into the race here today. So 10th place is not exactly the ideal spot for him to be in here right now in race number 1. He has a healthy points lead, however, but with the 2 sprint race format here tonight, it's basically double points up for grabs for the drivers, essentially. So every position is going to matter here tonight for the top 4, especially. JDR here in 8th place, doing pretty good here for making a mistake of qualifying, having to start in the back of the pack. Got Yadcast here in 16th position, so Cletus up 1 spot now, up into 4th, still chasing Rebos, so Rebos hasn't quite let Cletus get close enough to get around here, or Cletus just hasn't pressed the issue, whichever one it is, maybe a combination of both, but no change in position between these 2 cars here. Eris Rebos in 4th place, and of course 3rd place, pardon me, and Cletus in 4th place. Fluka still chasing Fish. 7.2 seconds now is that gap, so that was 13.5 seconds, which indicates that Fish made a mistake somewhere and lost half of that gap. So again, no driver's immune when the weather is wet on any racetrack. Even the best of the best can easily make the race-ending mistake, as we like to call it. Delta Mike here in 18th position. We got Choco up into 7th. Choco's having a fantastic race here tonight. We got Eris Relos here in 3rd place, and the gap between him and Cletus is still right around that 1 second mark. GLR Seal here in 9th position, rocking and rolling in the blue and black Porsche here, a little bit of yellow highlighting, and currently sitting in 9th place. JP is about 10 seconds in behind him here currently on the racetrack. We got the Damn Cat in 14th place, and Zur City's about 16 seconds in behind here currently. So Johnny B, who is chasing JP in 2nd place in championship points, down in behind by 18 points from JP, currently has 4 positions on JP here right now, and I'm not sure what that relates to in points because I'm not 100% sure familiar with the point scale, but it's definitely going to gain points towards that fight for the championship in, well, race number 2. That's just going to tighten things up. That's going to make the race all that much more important for each one of those drivers competing for the championship here today. And remember, we have PSN, not cash, we have PSN cards to our top 3 here this season in the standings. So I believe it's a $75 for our winner of the fall series. I believe it's a $50 PlayStation gift card for our 2nd place finisher, and I believe it's a $25 PlayStation gift card for our 3rd place finisher here in the fall series as well, and that's provided by the Infinite Racing League and its Patreon members. So a little bit of extra incentive here as well on the season, and with that being said, it just makes it that much more important, and it puts that much more pressure on yourself as a racer when you know that there's a little extra at stake than just some bragging rights. Got Irish Jerry here in 12th position. We got Fish having a fantastic race here in 1st place. Racing Hobo here in 11th position. We got Anitams, looks like getting ready for race 2, so coming out of the paddock here. So that's fantastic to see. Tango 2 gets a little bit wide there out into the marbles, and manages to keep the car underneath him. It definitely had a little moment there, but does a great job again at keeping it underneath him. So Fish and Fluka, 7.5 seconds. That gap has not changed in the last lap here, so fairly equal pace at this point in the race from those 2 drivers. Alright, El Bombastico here in 13th position, and it's been a battle against the weather here in race number 1 without a question of a doubt. The drivers all having their own battles here with this racetrack in race number 1 right now. We have JDR in 8th position, Yacast here in 15th, I thought we were seeing a battle there. As I sit right here, we got Aris Rebos and Cletus here, and Cletus again putting it within a car length here of this Porsche right now. And let's see, he's looking a little racy. He's looking a little racy in there. He's coming in. He's braking a little bit later. He's trying to make sure he keeps that gap nice and tight. We may be seeing potential of offensive maneuvering here from Cletus in the near future. I mean, we got 4.5 minutes left of racing, and we're at about a minute 38, 39 average laps for the driving field and all. We got about 3 to go, so if you're gonna make the move, it's kind of, you got to start trying to make it now, I guess. So makes sense that we're seeing Cletus try to start applying some pressure here on Aris Rebos, but Aris Rebos seems to have realized that very quickly there with Cletus closing in on him in those couple corners there, and has decided to step up the pace a little bit here as well, I think. And it's going to be a battle on here between Rebos and Cletus here for 3rd and 4th place without a question of a doubt. So we should probably stick with this battle, but let's go one more time through the field and see what we see here. Fish and Fluka separated only by 6 seconds. Fluka's reeling in later here. We got Delta Mike in 18th position. We got Choco in 7th. He's all alone there right now. We don't have a whole lot happening here. This is kind of the most potential for a battle before the end of the race. I was fishing for a word there. Fishing for a word there. So let's just stick with this here. I mean, Cletus is most certainly starting to apply the pressure here now. Cletus has been pretty comfortable with sitting about a second in behind the Porsche of Aris Rebos here for the majority of this final half of the race. But again, as we come across the line with 2 to go here, it's kind of gloves are off now, right? It is every man for himself here. And little mistake made there right there by Aris Rebos. You can see a slight little lock up there. You can see it by the tire marks left on the racing track. Cletus is closer right up here. He is right sniffing underneath the wing of that Porsche here now. So definitely a great battle here. We're going to stick with this here in race number 1 until it's either over, until the checkered flag waves at this point, because like I said, battle for the final podium position here in race number 1, and it's important for Rebos here to try and hold 3rd place, try to keep Cletus in behind him, because the last thing he wants is that Ferrari in between him and Fluka here before this race finishes. And here we go, Cletus gets that inside position coming into the tight corner here. We're side by side. This is great racing action, and he's going to get it done. So the Ferrari going to take 3rd place here from Aris Rebos, but he is not done. He is immediately looking for a response here. We're staying with this. This is not over here. There is still a lap left, and the response can be made by our Porsche driver here. So let's see if Cletus can find a way to pull away, or let's see if Rebos has something in his back pocket here and a response for our now 3rd place driver Cletus here. And you can see TDC with a little bit of trouble in the background there in that Mercedes. There you go. You can see Rebos there. He took a look there, but Cletus closing off that inside line. So again, the Porsche driver just sitting tight, just waiting for his moment, waiting for a better opportunity, trying just to stay tucked right in behind Cletus here. So Fish coming across the line. He's starting that final lap. And looks like the Ferrari just may have a little more underneath the driver's seat than that Porsche has right now, but very well thought out battle there by Cletus, but was it too early is kind of the bigger question, I guess. Aris Rebos is trying to close the gap up, trying to apply some pressure back here, trying to see if he can get that Porsche in a position where he can try and get 3rd place back here before the end of the race. And roles reversed. What are you doing, computer? Oh. All right, so here we go. Here we're going to see it. He takes a really, really short line through that last apex there in an effort to try and close up that distance between himself and that Ferrari. And as we're coming around to the final couple corners here, it looks like Cletus has done just enough to hold off Rebos here. Rebos, you can see, is pushing hard. He's trying to find a way around. He took a real wide exit out of that corner there. Trying to just close up the gap here on Cletus, and here we go. This is coming down to it. This is it. We're going to be seeing checkered flag here as these two come across the line. So it is going to be a race win for Fish. It's going to be a second place finish there for Fluka, and it looks like Cletus is going to hold off the charge from Rebos. Rebos could take a super wide exit out of the final turn, and he's going to come in just a little short there and behind in fourth place. So that was a great job there by Rebos and Cletus. Great battle to finish off this race here. So let's go to our garage here and take a look and see what we see. So it is Fish, our race winner here. Race 1, second place goes to Fluka. Cletus will take third place with a great battle with Eris Rebos here at the end of the race there, making that little pass for third position on the second last lap of the race here. Rebos going to finish in fourth. McCrank's going to bring it home in fifth place. Johnny B is going to reel it in here in sixth place. So that was a good recovery there for Johnny B. Choco is drag racing it with JP, and JP gets a position right at the start finish line. JP moving himself up into seventh. That was a crucial pass right there. Choco's going to lose out by 4/100ths of a second to JP at the start finish line for eighth place. JDR is going to bring it home here in ninth. Seal's going to bring it home in 10th position, and this is not done yet. Let's stick with this. Got a battle here between 11th, 12th, and 13th position right now. And this is for position, I believe, as well. So let's see the final corner here. And anything can happen in racing, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we got to stick with it. We got a brake marker getting wiped there by Jerry. And it looks like it's going to stay in the order it's in here. It's going to be Racing Hobo coming across in 11th. Irish Cherry very close behind in 12th place. And it's going to be El Bombastico in 13th. Star City is going to finish it off in 14th. Yakcast in 15th. Tango 2 in 16th. The Damn Cat in 17th position. And Delta Mike in 18th. The Needhams did not make the grid here in race number 1. So there is our first sprint in our double sprint feature finale here tonight. And again, this is presented by the Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy and SimGrid, where you do all your signups here for this amazing racing that we have going on here at Infinite Racing League on Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 Edition. It has now also been mashed in with the Xbox console, and crossplay is now an option here on the Assetto Corsa Competizione console version. So now PlayStation and Xbox players can get together and test their might here on the racetrack as well. So kudos to ACC for that, because all that does is just make competitive racing that much fun, because there's that many more drivers ready to go. So it's going to very quickly become a battle of PlayStation versus Xbox, I feel, as the next few months progress here on ACC. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Alright, so our pole sitter from qualifying number 1 and our race winner here is Fish. Led the whole race for the whole duration, right from start to finish. And great job there to WRL Fish. I can't talk today, apparently. Fluka and Cletus also rounding out second and third place, and Eris Rebos finishing very close behind there in fourth place as well on Cletus after a great battle in the dying laps of the race here in race number 1. Cletus just managing to edge out Eris Rebos and hold off the charge and final lap attack there. So alright, so now we're just waiting for race control to kind of do what race control does here in ACC, and they're going to get the track all ready to go for sprint race number 2. Of course, they'll check it for debris, stuff like that, check how much water is on the track, make sure the safety of the drivers is always in mind as top priority here at every racetrack that we race at. So, you know, good job to all the crews and volunteers and engineers and everybody behind the scenes that takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to continue to make these racetracks safer and safer as, again, these race cars get faster and faster. So it takes a team to make the dream, and racing, it's a big team. So good job to everybody out behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily get talked about as much, that, you know, continues to keep our sport alive and thriving and as safe as possible. Anyways, I mean, obviously racing is a dangerous sport, but yeah. Alright, so we are officially under qualifying conditions here right now, and this is going to be for our second 30-minute sprint race here today at Misano. So with that being said, we're going to sit on board with Johnny B here, who finished 1 position ahead of JP in race number 1. So not ideal for points gain, as he was 18 points back from that championship here coming into tonight's racing. So a gain of a couple of points there for Johnny B at most on JP. So, you know, cutting that down to about, we'll say 16-point lead right now for JP. However, with the win with Fish and Feluca sitting in second place, finishing 5 positions ahead of Johnny B and JP, it definitely changes things a little bit there. I believe he was only about 12 points in behind Johnny B for second overall on the season, and obviously with the position advantage from Fluka and Aris Ribos on these 2 drivers, second, third, and fourth place is extremely tight here all of a sudden. So we could see potential changes in our top 3 standings by the end of race number 2 here tonight. Nobody has a safe lead, and anybody can still take that championship away from JP here up in the top 4 drivers. So this race is very crucial here tonight for these drivers, and like I said, of course, a little more on the line in just bragging rights this season. Of course, a $75 PlayStation gift card to our championship winner this season here in the fall series. It'll be a $50 PlayStation gift card to our second place overall finisher here on the season, and a $25 PlayStation gift card for our third place finisher here on the season. And the stipulation on that is that the racers must complete, I believe it's 75% of the season or 70% of the season in order to be eligible for the overall prize. Alright, so Johnny B is coming around on flying lap here. So this will be the first recorded flying lap for Johnny B here in qualifying. We're going to stick with him until he crosses start-finish line, where it registers that lap here. And it's a 135.400 here from Johnny B. So that was a solid first lap. We're going to stick with McCrank here. We're just going to stick with him until he puts in his first flying lap. He's down right now, apparently, on that 6-minute lap. But yeah, we all know that's going to change. Yeah, we got a little cluster of cars going on here, so you can see some guys jockeying around for position, giving space, just trying to leave themselves enough room to qualify safely. 10 minutes isn't a ton of time to qualify either, so you kind of need to sort that out relatively quickly there. And I think maybe the Irish Jerry just made a slight mistake there, and was a little slow moving, and just decided to let these faster drivers get around him here. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. There's a great job by Irish Jerry, of course. And as we come around the start-finish line here, we're about to see where McCrank and Seal end up here. Is at 7th and 14th right now, and The Seal jumps up into, stays in 14th position, so McCrank actually moves up into 3rd there as he crosses the line. Irish Jerry's in 11th, Fish is in 15th. He hasn't completed a flying lap yet. He's actually on that flying lap right now, so let's stick with him while he's on this flying lap and see what he records for his first hot lap here in qualifying. He was 1.25 seconds faster in qualifying in race number 1 than the rest of the field. So let's see what he's got here in race number 2. And I'm not sure, but he doesn't have, that time didn't register? It must have invalidated a lap in the final corner there. I was wondering if he cut that corner just a hair too much, or as he took a lot of that final corner curbing on the inside there to really maximize his exit. I think he might have just taken a smidge too much there. As he came around the final corner, I believe that they invalidated the lap there, because he should have been sitting up in somewhere around the top 2 or 3, I believe, with that 34 time that would have been posted. So I think an invalidated lap there for Fish. We got Zur City here sitting in 3rd place currently. It's a 35.947. JP's over the 35.852, so we've seen a 35.34 mid from Fish that didn't get counted there last time around. So I mean, it's a 1.3 second difference on JP here as far as pace and qualifying goes. Bombastico in 14th position. He had a good solid race last race. JDR here in 17th. Got Cletus in 6th, so he had a good race. He didn't qualify necessarily all that well in race number 1, but boy did he finish well in race number 1. Fluka here in 5th place, finished 2nd in race number 1. Delta Mike here currently sitting in 10th overall here on the grid. We got Choco up in 9th position. We've got Eris Rebos here sitting in 9th place currently overall. We got Seal in 13th. We got the Damn Cat in 14th as he comes across the line. Invalidated lap there, I believe. Johnny B with a 35.4 currently sitting in 2nd position, and there it is, Fish now sitting in pole position. So I think it just took a little time for the live timing to correct itself, to be honest there, chat. Because I didn't see the invalidated signal come across there, but I wasn't sure. There he is, so Fish with a 34.565, so that was most certainly a valid lap. We did see there, again, the game just teasing us a little bit. Racing Hobo, he's in 16th. He's got it in pit lane. He's just gonna leave it where it is and start the race where where he qualified, and see what happens during race conditions. You can see it's starting to get dark out here as well now. The headlights are starting to turn on these racing cars, so as if the conditions weren't already tricky enough for these drivers, now we're losing natural light here on the racetrack as well. Bombastico here in 12th position. JDR in 17th. He got disqualified in qualifying number 1 for driving the wrong way in the racetrack. Not exactly sure what that means or to what extent that was, but had to start the back of the pack and actually had a pretty good race for himself. Fluka in 6th place currently. You can say JP just in behind. He's sitting 3rd place right now here in qualifying, and there's about a lap left for most of these drivers here. So a lot of these guys, or some of these guys, are going to get one more crack at this. Delta Mike is in 12th place here currently right now in that Ferrari. We've got Choco in 10th place, so he's lost a spot to not sure who, but dropping 1 spot here in qualifying. And with that red numbering on his lap, this lap he's currently on will be an invalid lap here as well. So Eris Rebo's up a couple spots since the last time we checked in on him here in qualifying, from 9th into 7th. GLR Seal had a pretty good race last race, only sitting in 16th here currently in qualifying. The Damn Cat sitting in 14th. Johnny B is sitting currently 2nd here in qualifying, only behind none other than Fish. We've got McCrank here in 5th place, so he wasn't 3rd on the very first time around, but of course has changed around since then, now down into 5th place, so only dropping a couple spots. Irish Jerry in 15th to 140.3 is his best lap here in qualifying, and Fish is just going to bring it in here again. You can see the clouds are still looming in the sky there. It almost looks like it's going to start even getting a little bit foggy out here, maybe potentially on some parts of the track, with those low hanging clouds out there right now. So it could be a very tense race here in race number 2, as of course, like I said, it's starting to get dark here on the racetrack. There's City in 4th place here right now on the track, and McCranked and McLaren in behind there. Well, that was Johnny B and the McLaren in behind there. Had a little bit of a spicy exit there, and deciding to go on the other side of the racetrack for a moment. And he's still sitting in 2nd place. There is Johnny B at 135.947, so he's only about 2/10 off Johnny B's time there. JP's at 35.3 with his best lap. It's a 39.5 here from Bombastico. JDR's at a 38.3. It's a 37.8 for Cletus. What else we got here? 36.5 for Aris Rebos. He's moved up another spot. He's happy. He's going to call. You can see the rain starting to come out here. The wipers are going a little bit. 142 is his best. 140.577 for TDC. Johnny B's best is a 35.4, so about 9/10 of a second in behind Fish here in qualifying number 2. .565 is that best lap, and of course that was the lap that we were sitting on with him as he was coming around there. So Tango 2 in 9th position here, and you can see some guys getting those setups ready in their cars for race conditions, which will be happening shortly. Do we even have anybody left? We do. We have JDR and Delta Mike coming across here. Good run by JDR right there coming out of the final corner, and they're going to come across about the same time there. And they're going to stay exactly where they were, 11th and 12th position as they come across the line. They're side by side in qualifying here, so not able to improve on their lap times. So it's going to be Fish in pole position, Johnny B in 2nd, JP in 3rd, Zur City in 4th, Aris Rebos in 5th, McCrank in 6th, Fluka in 7th, Cletus in 8th, Tango 2 in 9th, Choco in 10th, JDR in 11th, Delta Mike in 12th, Bombastico in 13th, Seal in 14th, Damn Cat in 15th, Irish Jerry in 16th, Racing Hobo in 17th, Yakast in 18th, and Needham's here in 19th position. So let's just pick a driver and get ready to go racing. Egon coming in with that thumbs up on the stream, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic. Yeah, set a course of competition on PlayStation 5. Yeah, the chat always has the chat. That's what we love about this. The chat always takes care of the chat when we're not paying attention. All right. So, while we wait, I think it's going to be about a 2 or 3 minute wait, most likely, maybe 5. It's hard to say. This is the first time I've seen a set of Corsa Competition since the cross-play update got put into place. So I don't know what changes have come with that. I'm not really in the update loop here because I haven't looked into it yet. So all I know is that PlayStation and Xbox can race against each other now. That is pretty cool. I mean, that's the way of esports gaming anyways, is all that cross compatibility. Very few games are cross compatible with all major platforms, PC and console, but there's a few out there that are. Sim racing is a little more difficult, and obviously it's just because different machines have different specifications, right? So PC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, for example, and iRacing require a lot more resources from your device than, say, Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 edition does. So due to that reason, obviously, there's just some things that I can't necessarily be translated from PC to console, coding wise, you know, all that mumbo jumbo that not a lot of us really understand. Um, but it's good to see that we're getting more and more of the cross-play options available in multiplayer style games, whether it's sim racing or shooter games or family-friendly games, you know, whatever the case may be. So it's cool because all it does is it just broadens the player base, and it also broadens the ability to meet new people, make new friends, and build new bonds as well. So it's always great to see positive forward progression from our favorite games that we like to dabble in. And in this case here, of course, we're sim racers, so ACC is one of those major platforms, and it's great to see that you know, the developers and all the people behind the scenes that make the game what it is today have thought about that and considered that and found a way to make it all work within an already pre-existing built game. You know, I tip my hat, honestly. Alright, so it's going to be a fish to lead us off here, again in pole position with Johnny B lined up right beside him. JP is going to be sitting in third place, Reserve City in fourth, Eris Rebos in fifth place, McCrank in sixth, and Fluka in seventh place. So our top four drivers are all shooken up here within the top 7 positions in the grid here in race number 2. And I don't think the standings update quite that quickly on SimGrid, but let's go take a peek and see if we can find. Yeah, I don't think it updates quite like that, which is unfortunate. It would be nice to kind of have an idea of how much tighter things are in the top 4 there, but I can definitely guarantee that Fluka and Eris Rebos have definitely closed the gap up on Johnny B and JP, and this has very quickly become a 4-way battle for the overall championship here, and really what happens here in this race is crucial at this point. So we're going to see much of the same thing we've seen in race number 1. We're going to see that virtual safety car lap. We'll see a full circuit lap at a designated speed by race control in single file up until about 3 or 4 corners remaining in the racetrack, where of course race control now then directs the drivers to line up in their qualifying position side by side, of course at a controlled pace again, and then if they're happy when they come around the final corner leading up to the start finish line, they'll drop that green flag, and these 19 racers will give her one last 30-minute dash here in this fall series. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Our finale is officially upon us here. One final run for these drivers here in the IRL Fall Series GT3 edition, and we're about to crown a champion. Who that champion is, I can only speculate until we see official results, but $150 in PlayStation Network gift cards on the line, and of course bragging rights. Bragging rights, baby. Gotta love the bragging rights. Alright, so we're going to be under nighttime conditions here. You can see the drivers have got those lights and endurance lights on. Now, it was quite rainy and wet in race number 1. Currently, right now, wipers are on these cars, but it doesn't appear to be raining too heavily on the racetrack right now. So, I mean, really, we could probably tell if we just go into cockpit view and take a look here. I mean, it's just a little spot here and there, but a little spot here and there over time could definitely relate to some dicey conditions over 30 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how this weather hangs out here in the early parts of this race. It's a good look at what the night racing at on Set of Course Competition Console Edition looks like here on these drivers. I mean, you know, it's quite amazing at how well the consoles have adapted to the essentially the PC version of Assetto Corsa Competizione to the best of the console's abilities. So again, you know, huge props to what is it, 585 games or 505 games? I can't remember which one it is. To just keep making this thing work in a positive forward progression. Alright, so the drivers, they're going to be lining up 2 by 2 here now. You can see they're going to be taking their last minute ditches at getting those tires warmed up, getting those brakes warmed up, as we got 1 corner remaining here to go before race control is ready to ideally drop the green flag here. So I guess without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, kick them tires, light them fires, we're going racing, and race control is just going to wait for those cars to get around the final corner here, make sure the lineup is good, and we are going to be getting ready to go green flag racing in about 15 seconds time here, ladies and gentlemen. So coming around that final corner, everybody's in their respective positions. It looks like everything is nice and proper here, and we are getting ready to go racing. So just waiting, and we're green, and we are off here in sprint number 2 tonight. 30-minute race and no mandatory pits, and it is all or nothing here now this season for our top 4 drivers. 3 wide going through turn 1, a little bit of contact there between Fluka and one of the other drivers. I couldn't quite tell who it was. It might have been Rebos, but he managed to get himself back on track. No harm, no foul there. Fluka remains up into 6th place here, and Fluka makes a huge move there up the inside on Zur City as we come in, and JP is also going to try and make his way around the crank, which he does do so that puts JP up in through the field here a little bit. Oh, it looks like that was Rebos. Eris Rebos getting it wrong on the exit there. He loses the back end of that Porsche and goes in for a slide. We got a stop and go penalty for car number 59 for speeding in at the beginning of the race, I believe that said. So I'm not sure who that is. We'll have to figure out who car number 59 is as we go. Racing Hobo. Gonna get that penalty there. So it was Eris Rebos we did see, unfortunately, there. And oh boy, the car is definitely struggling here. So early on damage here for our tied for 3rd place overall championship points wise driver here, and that could be ultimately the end of that charge here for that driver. We'll have to see if he can do the recovery drive like Johnny B did in race number 1. Seal here in 11th position. We got Damcat up into 13th. He's just tucked in behind Irish Jerry, and he's going to get Cletus going up on the inside there. So Cletus grabbing position there, and Cletus was up in the mid-pack there, falling back a little bit. So I'm wondering if he made an early mistake as well here, falling back into the field a little bit. So it is Fish in the early lead, is 1.7 seconds gap here on Johnny B. And I don't know if anybody's going to have an answer for Fish here at Misano tonight. He just looks locked in. But if anybody's willing to give it a shot, it's definitely Johnny B and JP, who are currently sitting in 2nd and 3rd position here right now. And again, 1st and 2nd overall in the championship point standings. JP leading, Johnny B chasing. McCrank here in 5th place. He's been racing really fantastic here at the end of the season. He's trying to apply some pressure on 4th place driver Fluka here. And Fluka right now is in a great position to lock down minimum 3rd place overall here with that incident with Rebos just a lap ago there. So right now really the focus is now for Fluka to try and finish ahead of Johnny B and JP and see if he can squeeze any more positions there. And a little bit of a lag spike in the server right there is what we saw. For those of you that are wondering what was going on there, that happens from time to time, and kind of expected with crossplay, this crossplay switch being flipped, so to speak. So we could see some, unforeseen things happen as we progress for the next little while. But that's going to happen as we have again forward progression in games. Fish here in the lead of the race right now, and it's 2 seconds to Johnny B. So Johnny B getting up into his pace here, it seems like now, and maintaining that 2 second gap currently to Fish. We got Tango 2 here in 7th position. He's got Choco in behind in 8th. He's got Zur City up ahead in 6th position, and that's about a 2.5 second gap there. So right now, the big concern is that Ferrari bearing down on his left side here with Choco, and Choco just immediately moving over to the racing line here. He might be looking for an outside move here, try to get the position so he has the inside line into the next corner. It just didn't quite work out for him there. He wasn't quite close enough, but I think that's what we've seen there. Stop and go cleared by a number 59 driver there as well. So race control satisfied with that. We love to see it. But Tango 2 here still in 7th place. Choco doing a pretty good job of trying to apply the pressure to Tango 2 there. But Tango 2 got a little bit of a good run there through the last couple of corners and opening up that gap just slightly over Choco. We got Zur City here in 6th place and 2.1 seconds to Tango 2 in behind. And he's got 1.8 seconds to McCrank and a McLaren up ahead. And again, McCrank has been having some good races here near the end of the season. Got JP currently sitting in 3rd place. Cletus has a blue flag car there, so I believe that Cletus made a pit stop to fix some damage on his racing car, and that's got him in a blue flag situation here very early on in the race. Got Bombastico here in the 13th position. We got JDR here in 10th place. He's driving that Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2, of course, which just recently got released into the game a few months ago. Cletus in a 15th position right now after whatever it was that happened at the beginning of the race. He's got himself fixed up and sorted out, but now he's in the middle of a leader sandwich here. This is a driver that has pace as well, so tough position for Cletus to be stuck in here right now on the racing track. We got Fluka here in 4th place, closing in on JP, and that gap is about a second currently right now on the track. Delta Mike here in 14th position. We got Choco here in 8th place. We've got Eris Ribos here in 17th position. We got GLR Seal in 9th place here. And the Damn Cat up into 12th place. So having a better race start here in race number 2 than he did in race number 1. We got Johnny B up in 2nd place still. And he's got, of course, blue flag car Cletus in behind. And he's got JP and Fluka in behind Cletus there as well, so had a buffer there for a moment. JP just got around Cletus there, and Fluka now navigating around Cletus there as well, so Cletus doing a great job at literally giving the spots up without really giving up any pace, and that is ultimately what you're trying to do as a blue flag car, remain predictable and not really cost yourself or the other driver any time. So great job there by Cletus. Cletus is an experienced racer, so not surprised to see him handle that blue flag the way he did there. Johnny B again still in 2nd place here, and I mean this is tight. JP's right on him here, but they are closing in on Fish as well. It's a 1.5 second gap here right now to Fish up in the race lead. So Fish not quite able to just open up and drive away so easily here in race number 2. The Crank here in 5th place. He's got Zur City in behind. But not really closing in. It looks like he has kind of opened up that gap on the 6th place driver behind it. He's now trying to roll in on that front group of Fluka, Johnny B, JP, and Fish. Irish Jerry and the Damn Cat here in 11th and 12th place, and we've been kind of keeping our eye on this battle as we can here. Again, not an immediate battle happening here right now. This is the Damn Cat's just trying to close up on the McLaren in front of Irish Jerry, and then of course from there he's got to decipher how he's going to try and make his way around Irish Jerry. But a good little battle starting to brew between our 11th place drivers here anyway. Alright, back up front. This is getting spicy here. We got Fish in 1st. We've got Johnny B in 2nd. We got JP in 3rd. And we got Fluka in 4th. And Cletus has a black flag car, or blue flag car, pardon me, in the mix, and definitely with pace. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say? And there we go. Fish getting overtaken on the outside by Johnny B there as well, and JP's going to try and follow through there. He does have the position here as he comes across that live timing, but they are still side by side going through that sweeping kink, and JP gets the job done. Fluka's going to take advantage and try to go up the inside of Fish here now, and Fish manages to hold Fluka up, but he's going to have to take that wide line on the exit there, and that's going to have to means that he's going to have to give up for the time being that position to Fluka, just because of just a little bit of positional loss on the racetrack right there, and Fish actually coming into pit lane here. So something maybe not right here with our leader's racing car. Not sure, but coming into pit lane to make an early pit stop here. Racing Hobo in 17th. We got Tango 2 in, well, 6th place there. Now as he comes around, Fish from making that pit stop. Surf City moves up into 5th place. El Bombastico is in 13th position here. Oh, the damn cat there looks like in a little bit of trouble there in 13th position there, and potential damage on the front end of that racing car. It was a little dark, it was hard to see, but a little bit of contact there from the damn cat. Self-induced or with another car, not sure, but contact with something here. And we got Cletus here again, just trying to give the room there to McCrank to get around safely, and just kind of navigating off the racing line here right now. Cletus gains a position there now up in at the 14th there as well. So we got Fluka here in 3rd place. We got Delta Mike here in 15th. We got Choco in 7th. Eris Rebos here after his early racing endeavor there. He went off the racetrack there, sitting in 16th position here right now. But we got Seal up in 8th. The damn cat with a pretty damaged front end of the race car right there. He's got that thing in, getting it repaired up there, and he'll get himself back out on track. But now it's Johnny B leading things here, and he's ahead of JP. JP doesn't need to panic in this situation because Johnny B doesn't have enough of a points gain on JP, only be one position ahead of him here in 1st place on the racetrack. So JP really just doesn't need to battle with Johnny B here right now. JP just needs to not lose touch with him and not make any mistakes at this point. And it should be a championship for JP. We got Fluka here in the 3rd position as well. And Fluka's in this conversation here. Fluka definitely wants to finish ahead of these two drivers because Fluka put himself in a position where he can potentially advance positions from the 3rd place and up here yet as well. The Crank here in 4th position. We got Irish Jerry here in 10th. We got Fish in 12th place after making that pit stop. So I'm not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop there from Fish or something was just not right with the setup with the car. He something wasn't quite working right, and decided to bring that car in to make the adjustment. We're not sure, but he's back out on track in 12th place. Alright, so it's Racing Hobo in the 17th position here. He's got JDR, who's a 9th place driver, coming in. You can see just pulling off the racing line there, giving JDR the position. Going to tuck right back in behind there. Great job by our blue flag guys here tonight. Tango 2 in 6th place. He's got Choco right down his neck here in 7th place, right underneath that tail fin. And then GLR Seal is starting to close in here as well, and they are chasing Zur City in 5th place. But that gap is about 5 seconds. So right now this little three-way battle here between Tango 2, Choco, and Seal. Mainly between Choco and Tango 2 at the moment, but and I don't know if I just need to stop watching Tango 2 or what's going on here, but every time I seem to follow this poor guy around, things just don't go well for him. I'm sorry, my man. But Tango 2 is just losing it a little bit, sliding across the tractor. He's going to lose those 2 positions, Choco and Seal. And Delta Mike's a blue flag car, so he's not losing any position there on that car. But it's back on track. Hopefully he didn't flat spot those tires up, and he's going to keep moving and grooving here. But poor Tango 2. Poor Tango 2. We've been killing him here tonight. This is Zur City here in 5th place. We got JP here now, 1.3 seconds in behind Johnny B. And like I said, JP isn't in a panic state sitting in 2nd place here right now. He's got enough of a points spread over Johnny B that he doesn't need to finish ahead of him. Fluka, I don't think at this point where it is right now can do any damage to JP. Either JP could probably even afford to finish in behind Fluka, to be honest, but doesn't want to give that opportunity up if obviously preventable. Bastico here is up into 11th place now, so slowly but surely just kind of picking away here, making his way through the field. JDR is in 9th place, no changes there. Tango 2 is about 4 seconds up the road from there. A little bit of a mistake right there from JDR, but no harm, no foul. Loses no time there, no position, I mean. Cletus is now up into 13th here after, again, same deal for this driver. Had some kind of incident early on in the race and had to make a pit stop, so back out on track and just basically trying to recover the best he can here at this point, 13th. Fluke is in 3rd place. What's the gap here? We just came across our finish line. So Fluka is roughly 1.2 seconds in behind JP right now. He's about 1.5 seconds in behind the race leader, Johnny B. So Delta Mike in 14th. And in that red and yellow Ferrari, red, black, and white Ferrari, pardon me. And he's getting white, blue flag here, so that's JDR in 9th place. And again, drivers that had to make early pit stops obviously kind of mingled into those blue flag situations due to the unforeseen pit stops or whatever the case may be. But so some drivers mixed up in the fray a little bit here. Choco's up in 6th place. He's got GLR Seal still tracking here in 7th place, but Choco has kind of opened up that gap just a little tiny bit more over GLR Seal in 7th place. We got Rebos here in the 16th position. We got Seal here in 7th. The Damn Cat here in 15th now after his pit. So it is Johnny B still leading the charge here, and JP has definitely closed up though. JP half a second behind here, and Fluka is just right there too, nipping. So I mean, this is a pretty much three-way battle right now for our top 3 positions here on the race. No immediate battles happening, but the drivers are thinking about how they're going to navigate and create these battles here before the end of this race. And we're almost, actually this race is going by pretty quickly here. We're almost midway through here on this race number 2. So McCrank in 4th place. Cletus's blue flag car in behind. Now Cletus is a very quick driver halfway through the race, has race control there, and could provide a little bit of trouble for some of these drivers potentially, but he's been very cool, calm, collected, and patient about the whole thing here in race number 2. It is what it is. Racing is racing, and he understands that, obviously. Irish Jerry here in 10th place. He's got the Damn Cat in behind, but the Damn Cat is out of position and in 15th place, so no battle for positions brewing there. But it is Fish now up into 11th place. So he was up in 12th last time we checked. Now he's up into 11th, and Irish Jerry's about 17 seconds up the road here. Yeah, a fast driver, but not sure what created the pit stop there. Racing Hobo here in 17th position. All alone, just in no man's land, chilling right now. Tango 2 still in 8th place, even after that little Code Brown moment on the racetrack there. He didn't create any damage on his racing car, so that was obviously the important thing, but definitely would have hurt the tires a little bit probably with that slide in these cooler conditions. So probably just getting recovered from that. Now 6 seconds up the road is Porsche driver Seal. Desert City is still holding pretty strong here in 5th place currently right now on the racetrack, and it's a 7-second gap to 4th place driver McCrank. Alright, so JP is 1.7 seconds in behind Johnny B, our race leader, and Fluke is 1.7 seconds in behind JP, our 2nd place driver, but also our championship points leader. This is a pretty tight racing here, and our top 3 currently coming into race number 2 in the point standings are currently sitting in the top 3 in race number 2 here as well, so no real advantages or disadvantages being handed out between these 3 right now, and potentially going to be about how we're going to see that season end, but until it's all official. I didn't see I was only looking at unofficial results from round 7, so I'm not 100% sure how accurate those also were. JDR here in 9th place. Delta Mike making a mistake in behind there under braking, having to take that entry extremely wide there, but manages to get it back on course relatively quickly, and it doesn't seem like it cost him too much issue coming around the racetrack there. So Cletus in 13th position. Fluke is here in 3rd. Fluke just slightly lost touch with JP here. It's 2.5 seconds now. JP's just slightly lost touch with Johnny B, and it's now up to about 2.2 seconds. So the guy's stepping up the pace, slowing it down, stepping it up, slowing it down, stepping it up, slowing it down, conserve when I can, pick it up when I need to. Definitely lots of strategizing going on in the minds of the drivers behind the wheel of Johnny B's car, JP's car, and Fluke's car here today, that's for sure. Delta Mike in 14th position, and number 33 Ferrari here doing pretty good, starting to reel in. JDR there in 9th place, and of course that'll just be to get a lap back from that driver if he does manage to get around them, but still reeling him in, still showing some good pace there. Choco in 6th position, he's got GLR Seal about 5 seconds in behind, so Choco's done a good job at opening the gap up to the attacking driver in behind the GLR Seal. Zero City, pardon me, is still about 5 seconds up the road, so he's maintained the gap to Zero City up ahead. A little wiggle coming out of the corner right there, a little car slide, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time there, but doing a great job nonetheless. Harris Rebos here is in 16th position and just has not been able to gain since that first lap off and collision with, I believe it was a wall. So he just trying to get the track in, trying to score the points and see where he ends up when it all settles. But it could potentially be 5th place even in the standings, depending on where the drivers underneath finish here in race number 2 as well. So it was a crucial moment for Aris Rebos here, and for his first season in here at Infinite Racing League, I mean, he has lots of potential, and there is championships to be won for sure with that driver in his sim racing career. So he might let a podium slip this time around, but eventually he comes back next time around even stronger. So that's usually the way it goes with these top tier drivers. GLR Seal here in 7th position. Tango 2 is closing in there in 8th place. Choco is up ahead 7.5 seconds. So Choco continues to open the gap up there from 6th to 7th place right now on the racetrack. The Damn Cat here in 15th. He's rolled in on Irish Jerry here. So again, another tough situation, knowing that you're the blue flag car and behind you potentially got the pace on the car up ahead. Do you try to make the move, or do you just stay in behind and not risk making contact with the lead lap car or anything like that? So we'll have to see how Damn Cat sorts that out as he continues to progress over the last 9.5 minutes of this race. Johnny B still holding down the fort, 1 second gap over JP. So again, it's a little bit of cat and mouse going on here between these top 3 right now. Johnny B picks up the pace a little bit, JP just chills, and then when Johnny kind of settles back and starts to chill, JP picks the pace back up a little bit and starts to close the gap back up. And Fluke is just chilling there in 3rd place, was right there on top of these guys, and now it's starting to fall off the pace a little bit, almost 4 seconds in behind JP here. McCrank in 4th place, having another fantastic race here in race number 2 is McCrank as well, looking for another top 6 finish here today in this dual sprint race format. So race number 1 was approximately about 40 minutes ago, give or take, finished up maybe a little less time than that, and was won by WRL's Fish, who's currently sitting in 10th place now, and it looks like he's just kind of made his way around Irish Jerry recently. Early pit stop for our pole sitter and race leader, and not sure what happened there, but something was awry in that number 720 McLaren, and he had to make a pit stop to get it sorted out, that's for sure. So Racing Hobo here in 17th position, and no immediate pressure from positional battle in behind here. We got Tango 2 JDR in 9th place. Tango 2 has started to reel GLR Seal in here, so let's stick with this here for a minute and see if we see a little battle between the 2 drivers here. It's only 7 minutes and 43, 42, 41 seconds remaining here in this race. Starting to kind of run out of time, so I think he's just working on closing the gap up maybe for the last couple laps, and then work on trying to find his way around that driver for a position gained by the end of the race. Not sure what he's thinking there, but that's kind of what it looks like to me anyway. Zert City's in 5th place. He's closing in on Cletus. Cletus is a blue flag car, and then McCrank is just up ahead 4 seconds up the road, so has time. A couple of little bobbles from the 4th place driver McCrank up ahead could be enough to allow Zero City to close in and try and battle for that position before race end. But it is Johnny B and JP here right now battling it out for 1st and 2nd here in race number 2. And JP's doing everything he can here to close back up to the back bumper of Johnny B. But Johnny B is doing a really great job at just pacing JP enough not to give him any free speed or any free position on the racetrack at this point. Bombastico here in 12th place, and Cool Calm Collected here in race number 2, just chilling and doing his thing. We got JDR in 9th. JDR has just been kind of chilling and settled here in 9th place for the majority of the race, and as long as everything keeps going the rate it's going, he should finish no worse than 9th place here today in the race as well. We have Cletus in 13th position. He's got Zur City closing in on him here. Tough spot for Cletus in race number 2. Early racing incident there that caused him to have to pit. And Zur City now just closing in on him. So much of the same thing we've seen from Cletus all night long. Once he feels Zur City has closed up and has the room to make a quick move, we'll see Cletus get out of the way of Zur City there and just let him by. So Fluka here in 3rd place, 6.7 seconds away from JP, and JP's still keeping that gap within a second here of Johnny B as they were navigating some blue flag traffic there as well. Choco in 6th place overall. We got Eris Rebos here in big little wiggle right there in 15th position, so he has gained 1 spot since we last were jumped on board with him. We have Seal here in 7th place. He's still doing a good job of holding off Tango 2. The gap is still about a second, 1.2 currently right now on our live timing screen. And there's 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this race. It's going to be 4 to go for the drivers here, so we're 4 laps away from calling it a fall series here. That happened quickly, and Damcat again in with some heavy front end damage there, so again going to get that front clip repaired up on that race car and try to get it back out on track here. So it is Johnny B in the 1st position, and JP is about 2 seconds in behind, so I question whether JP might have got held up a little bit there by whatever complication that the Damcat may have been in right when these guys caught up to him there. But 2.1 seconds now that gap, and not a lot of race time left for JP to try and get the job done. But again, he doesn't need to here either. He doesn't need to force that battle if he doesn't really want to. McCrank here in 4th place. Irish Jerry here in 11th. We got Fish in 10th place. So he has recovered back up to a top 10 position here. And the 3 cars in behind him are not positional cars, so he's not at risk of losing any positions here. And he's still got 16 seconds of JDR up in front, so it could be 10th to be as good as it gets for him here today in race number 2. Race at Hobo, sitting back in the blue flag marker zone a little bit there. We got Tango 2 here in 8th place, and he's still just tucked in, closing in little tiny bit by little tiny bit here on the back end of GLR Seal. So 0.6 seconds now is that gap. It was about 1.2 seconds last time we checked, so he's close up about half the distance. And again, that's going to be that slipstream. That big old hole in the air that Porsche is punching in front of that Mercedes right now, and that allows that Mercedes to tuck right into that airflow, and that airflow essentially pulls the Mercedes in closer to the Porsche for free. Essentially, it's a little free speed boost in a sense, but that does come with a lot of skills to come with it, of course, under braking, especially there. But there we go. GLR Seal makes the mistake there, and Tango 2 is going to get the freebie, so he gets the job done up the inside when GLR Seal just goes a little bit wide there, and he's going to grab up P7 from Seal there. So unfortunate for Seal, but slowly but surely he was just reeling him in bit by bit, kept that pressure on, and Seal made the mistake, and it was an easy position gain there for Tango 2. So Zur City here still in 5th place. He's got Cletus as again, who's just chilling it right now. He's got lots of pace, but in that blue flag car situation, and just respecting the fact that that's the situation he's in here in this race, and that's just the signs of a good experienced racer, in my opinion. But it is Johnny B and JP here still battling it out for the race win here. I wouldn't say they're battling it out at this point. Johnny B's now opened the gap to 2.8. Over JP here. We got Bombastico in 13th. We got JDR still hanging strong in 9th place. We got Cletus in 12th. We've got Fluka in 3rd place, and he's got the Damcat just in behind there. A couple laps down by now, I would think. Delta Mike here in 14th position. He is a lap down here as well. This is WRL Fish just up ahead of him. but he has Racing Hobo closing in behind there. Less than 2 seconds is that gap from 14th to 15th place there. So Racing Hobo going to try and see if he can apply a little bit of pressure and maybe grab a spot from Delta Mike before this race finishes here today as well. Choco with a big wiggle coming out of the again out of that same corner. It seems to be the corner that Choco is struggling with just slightly, or maybe a little bit, as he continues to just over throttle out of that corner. It's a couple of tense moments there for Choco out of that corner here in race number 2. So here's Rebos here in 15th position, and the next positional driver is about 5 seconds up the road. So Racing Hobo is just kind of trying to get a lap back right now, or hold Aries Rebos off to not put him in a lap down to him as well. But at some point in the next minute, it's quite possible that could happen. We got JLR Seal in 8th, we got Damn Cat in 17th. Let's get on board with Johnny B, our race leader here, as this is going to be, I believe, the final lap for these drivers here as they're coming through the more technical part of the racetrack here, and this leads us up into the final few corners of the racetrack, obviously. So Johnny B with about a 3-second gap, JP just chilling. I mean, like I said, he didn't need to fight this battle. If my calculations are correct, that should still put him as overall season champion here. Johnny B with a tough effort here tonight, and we said that even with the incident in race number 1, having to make the huge recovery drive in race number 1. I mean, Johnny B is always up to the challenge. The guy we have seen some pretty crazy comeback drives this season, especially here in the fall series, and one of those comeback drives was by none other than Johnny B. We also seen a crazy comeback drive from JP this season as well. So that's why these guys are fighting at the top of the standings this season. It is a consistency and skill, and a lot of seat time and experience really makes a difference for some of these drivers for sure. But it's Johnny B as he's coming around here, and that timer's done, and it should be a race 2 victory here for Johnny B as Irish Jerry comes across the line there as well. And there it is, checkered flag. JP's going to take it home here in 2nd place. And I just didn't quite have the answer for Johnny B there. So Fluka is coming around. He's going to bring it home here in 3rd place, and that should secure a 3rd place overall finish on the season for Fluka. So back-to-back seasons on the bottom step of the podium overall here. So congratulations to Fluka. The Crank's going to come around 4th place finish. Great finish for him here tonight. Zur City is going to finish right there in 5th. He's got a Damn Cat just ahead, and Cletus just in behind there, finishing in 15th and 17th, 12th and 17th, pardon me. Choco with a great race here. He's going to bring it home in 6th place. Tango 2 is going to bring this thing home here in 7th place, and a little bit of self-redemption there for him after race number 1. That was a great job by Tango. Seal is going to bring it home here in 8th place. JDR is going to bring it home here in 9th, and another good solid race here from JDR in that Lamborghini here today as well. So top 10 finish here for him in race number 2, and Fish here is going to bring it home in 10th place, but he is again going to lock down that fastest lap of the race here for that extra point in pocket. So Fish in 10th place. That's going to bring Irish Jerry around, and it's going to be an 11th place finish here for Irish Jerry. Cletus and Bombastico have come across with the checkered flag, and so has the Damn Cat. We still have a couple drivers out that have not been waved that checkered flag there. So Aris Rebos just getting the flag there. Delta Mike in 15th just taking a checkered flag. Racing Hobo coming across taking that checkered flag there. So our last driver to take the checkered flag for the last time this season is going to be Irish Jerry here in 11th position. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our IRL Fall Series GT3 edition here. Again, another great season put in by the Infinite Racing League here, and congratulations to, hey, how you doing, Jack? Long time no see, my guy. I hope you're doing good, buddy. So, I mean, congratulations. If my math is correct and the information I was looking at was up to date and fully correct, leading into race 1, I believe it's going to be a JP as number 1, a Johnny B as number 2, and a Fluka as number 3 overall in the season. But with it being so close in the double sprint race format here tonight, and the way that race 1 it's really hard to say, but I believe that is going to be our overall finishing position here on the season this season. So these guys in the booth will know a lot more than I know when it comes down to that. So we'll give them a few minutes here, and we'll go jump into the interview booth and have a little chat with a couple of our drivers here. It's been so long since we've done this, I gotta make all my adjustments here. You're the sexiest man alive, Paul. Hey, appreciate you, Paulie B. Appreciate you, Paulie B. Alright, so we have Johnny B in the interview booth. We always have Johnny B in the booth. He likes to come and hang out and talk with the viewers at home, and of course, talk about his race. So he's always one of the very first ones to jump into that booth, and we'll just give it another minute here, and we'll go have a little chat with Johnny B. So some pretty crazy racing out there in race number 1 and race number 2 today. And like I said, there's some varied strategies out there. We've seen pit stops made by some of the drivers. We've seen no stops made by some of the drivers. We've seen some drivers make mystery pit stops, like Fish in race number 2 there. I just feel like something wasn't right with that car, and yeah, he was forced to come in and make whatever adjustment he needed to make on the race car was. But really unfortunate there again, fastest qualifier, and just not able to convert it in race number 2.
Green light, go, go, go.
Alright, we'll go talk with Johnny B here, so just bear with me for 1 second, chat. Everything's working, fantastic. And we need to give you some audio. Alright. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we got Johnny B with us. Now Johnny B is coming in as defending champion from Summer Series 2.0, and had a tough race number 1 here today. Recovered very well and gave yourself a good opportunity to still fight for that overall championship. Got the big race win in race number 2, but if my math and information is correct, just fell a little bit short for the overall championship this season, but should still lock down second place overall. So tough racing out there first of all tonight. Rain, cold, dark conditions here at Misano in this double sprint race format. Talk us through your racing weekend.
It was fun, I suppose. First race, just in the wet, I got a little too ambitious. I think coming out of the final corner and kind of just spun her around, and then made up good ground. I think I fell back to 13th or 14th, got back to 5th, and then on the second to last lap, I sent her around again in sector 3. Just lapse and concentration. Second race went a lot better. Quality was good. I could have probably got with a 10th or 2 a pole. I kept invalidating my lap though coming out of the final corner, but got around fished I think maybe 8-10 minutes in, and then I just kind of had to keep a nice safe pace and not loop her around for the rest of the race. JP stayed within about a second of me for the majority of it. So, but no, it was fun. It was better late than never. I think that was my first win of the season, actually, so I'll take it.
Absolutely, and tough season. There were some very large grids all season long. There was a lot of new racers, a lot of new competition came in this season, and again a little extra incentive on the line for you for the top 3 on the overall season. But I mean, a recap on the season overall. Pretty happy with how your performance was this season.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have finished a little better in a few of those races, and been a little bit more in the battle for first. I had a real outside chance coming into today, but I didn't have my best stuff all season. I kind of had a little slump where I was just struggling and just wasn't as crisp as I like to think I usually am. But all things considered, still finishing second, and I think I had a couple races where I was up fighting for first. I'm happy with that. So going into next season, we'll just have to kind of get back to practicing, retool, and give JP hell when we start the next.
Absolutely, and I mean, next season being announced, I would imagine very soon here at Infinite Racing League. For those that may be thinking about entering next season, just stay tuned over there at the Discord server. There'll be announcements being made soon enough. You know, now we've gotten this crossplay option here with Xbox console users as well. So um, I guess the big question is, as a racer, are you excited about that, or do you have your reserves about crossplay multiplayer racing?
Only concerns or reservations I do have is some potential server issues. I know I've played other games on other platforms before that are cross-play and haven't really had any issues. So hopefully it's similar in that way where we don't see disconnects and stuff like that. Assuming that's not an issue, I think it's nothing but a positive. Increase the driver pool, give more people an opportunity to join these great grids here at IRL, and bring out more competition. The more the merrier. If whether there's 2-3 guys I'm competing for the top spot or 10, right? I'm happy, and the more people we put up there to compete and fight, the better, in my opinion. So, assuming there's no server issues, I think crossplay's a good thing.
Absolutely, I think the fact that they're able to take a very solid developed game and throw a big wrench like that into the program when it necessarily wasn't developed to be in that sense. I think that's a really big forward progressive step for a set of course of competition. And myself have my reserves about the server conditions moving forward as we start to mix up Xbox and PlayStation drivers. But at the end of the day, I think it's also going to bring back racers that may have left their console platforms due to lack of driver size and driver pool as well. So I think that it definitely has a lot more positive weight than it does negative weight, and I can't wait to see how it kind of all unfolds over the next season for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I said, I like the fact that it increases the player pool, gives us a chance to get people from another console joining us, and then on ACC as a whole, it does nothing but good things for public lobbies, which have been kind of a struggle. I can say nothing but good things about ACC, but if there was one drawback, outside of finding a really good league like IRL or some of the other ones out there, the public lobbies weren't. They left something to be desired, right? Just purely from the capacity or the volume of people in it. So I think it's a good thing all in all, as long as we don't have technological problems.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And for you drivers coming in here, ultimately really still having a chance of taking that overall championship here tonight, because obviously with the two sprint race format in these wet conditions, anything really could have happened, and a lot of things definitely did happen. Lots of drivers out there today, but unfortunately for Aris Rebos, had an early race 2 incident that kind of took him out of that fight for third place overall. So Fluka looking like he's going to just sneak his way right into that bottom step on the season as well. And unfortunately, we probably won't hear from Fluka. Chad, he usually doesn't pop into the interviews, but Fluka.
I'm here.
Oh, are you here? Fantastic! I didn't even
Yes,
see you
I made
pop
it.
in, my guy. I love it. All right, let's talk to Fluka real quick, and we'll get back to Johnny B here. Congratulations. I was just gonna say, we've been watching your race for about 3 or 4 seasons now. We've been watching that progression in your race pace, your racecraft, your race control with the car, and ever since you got into this new Ferrari, you really seem to have just kind of fallen in love with the car, so to speak. It really seems to suit your driving style, and you really seem to kind of get along with it. And tough battle tonight. You came in 2 points in behind Rebos for third place overall in the season. You were only 30 points or so in behind the championship points leader. If you had one bad race, it could have put a whole different equation into the mix. But all said and done, closed up that gap to second and first place, grabbed third place going into race number 2, and did what you had to do to secure that spot. So pretty happy with your season this season?
Yeah, very happy. I came in third as usual. It's my trademark move, I would say. And the Ferrari is great. I think it suits my style. I like a loose end at the back, and it sucks a little bit for Alice. He's a new. I think it's his first season. He's driving the Porca. He's done really well. So looking forward to see him back next year. Well, next season. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm happy. I had some crappy races early on, and then second half of the season I picked up again, and now Fish joins us. Competition gets even harder, so it's great.
Absolutely. I mean, the competition continues to increase season by season here, and as we were just talking about, now with the cross-play options happening, we just are expecting to see that trend continue here at Infinite Racing League. So I guess pretty happy with how your season went. You did say you started off a little slow, but you finished off strong. Overall, pretty happy with how your season went for you.
Yeah, very happy, and it was nice, organizing the races to see the big grids early on, and maybe it peters out a little bit toward the end, but that's understandable. People are, pulling out of contention, getting tired. I think tonight we had what, 18?
The holiday season is always tough right near the end of a season too.
Yeah,
Of course, elongated break coming into in between round 7 and our finale round. Sometimes people are still traveling and whatnot too as well. So, but it's still a big grid. I mean, 19 drivers here in race number
yeah,
2.
for the
That's
conditions, yeah,
a great grid here at
especially,
Misano.
yeah.
I mean, when you finished race 1, I mean, I'm sure you guys had a better idea of the numbers and what you needed, and as far as position ahead of this driver and that driver goes. Was that going through your mind all through race number
Oh
1?
yeah, no, mostly race number 2 because I had a bad quali, so I had to make up ground. Was a bit aggressive at the start, went 3 wide. I think I touched the cleaters. I think you're okay, and I had to pass Paris there, and then I had to go beyond my crank. Then I saw Fish. I think he had wet on. He started dropping back. And at that point, I knew I was in good shape. I tried to keep up with JP and Johnny, but I just couldn't. So really, their position in the race, I think, almost reflects the ending in the championship. I think who got it? JP got it in the end.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, I think, once it all settles out officially here. I think it's a little bit closer than maybe we anticipated. Obviously, with the results of race 1, you definitely gained some ground on those guys. But
Yeah,
overall, I think as race 2 finished, I think that's exactly how we're going to see our overall standings finish here this season as well. I do agree with you on that.
yeah, they give me some motivation to work on it. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And, next season, planning on coming back with that Ferrari?
I think so, but it could be the last season. I might switch maybe to the Porsche.
Well, there we go.
That's my thinking right now.
And the drivers always like to challenge themselves too. I notice here from season to season as well. We do notice that we do see these drivers change up cars every couple of seasons, and sometimes they jump into cars that are very difficult to drive again, just to challenge themselves. So we may see some of that, of course, moving into next season from some of our drivers that are returning as well. But congratulations on a great season. It's been a lot of fun to watch your progression. Like I said, over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and these guys standing on the higher steps right now need to start looking over their shoulders, because I think when you break out, you're going to be a dangerous driver in this field of drivers.
Thanks, and thank you for the whole season commentary.
Well, almost. We missed one or two rounds, but
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Definitely always. I mean,
Yeah.
great racing here. It's hard not to want to come and do 30+ car grids. I mean, it just makes for great action for the viewers at home as well, right? So, but I guess any final remarks and shoutouts out there as well, Fluka?
No, just congratulations to JP and Johnny, and welcome to Fish and all the other new drivers that we have here. You have another guy that is really good in an Aston Martin, Duke, but he didn't race tonight. And everybody, throughout the grid, it's great to see so many people. It's great to see people getting better, and it's fun to organize it. So looking forward for 2024.
Absolutely, and finishing out the fall series here in 2024 in style here, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, as well. And Fluka, our unofficial overall 3rd place finisher, until, of course, the IRL officiating staff makes it official in probably about 48 hours time or so here. But congratulations on another great season, and I'm sure we're not done talking to Fluka as seasons progress here and rounds of racing continue to get knocked down at Infinite Racing League, that's for sure. But talk to you hopefully soon, right at the beginning of the season. You never know, maybe next season, hey?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we do have Fish up in the chat here too, so we're going to jump over to WRL Fish here. This guy had incredible pace at Misano here today in qualifying. I mean, he was untouchable. For qualifying number one, he was 1.25 seconds faster than JP, who qualified in second place, and in qualifying number two, he was 9/10 of a second faster than Johnny B, who qualified in second place. So, first and foremost, you were absolutely flying out there. Is Misano a track you're quite comfortable with?
He defies physics, by the way. He's waiting. Doesn't make
I'm not sure what it is about it. I quite like flat tracks, flat Italian tracks. Both here in Monza, I would say, would be my specialties. I don't know why. Not sure.
I mean, race one was pretty cut and dry for you. You qualified clearly much faster than the grid, and you got you got a nice clean race start, and really just kind of worked on opening the gap. There was one point there where you did give some of that gap up, so I'm assuming you had a little bit of a blip on the racetrack at one point, but it definitely wasn't enough for for the guys chasing there to really put any pressure on you in race one. So pretty uneventful for the most part in race one. Essentially, kind of the perfect race, I guess, in the driver's eyes in a sense. But that takes us to race two. Yeah, again, you out qualified the pack, and you got a good start on the racing. You were working on opening that gap, and then it just seemed like the car fell off. What happened there early on in the race? Did something break on the car, and you had to go get it adjusted, or just something didn't feel right? What kind of caused that pit stop there?
No, I should have been on slicks and chose wets. So as soon as it changed from damp to greasy, I was going backwards. No matter what I did, I was going to go backwards. So I just had to pit and see if I could pull anything back. My dry stint was okay. I was sitting in the 34 lows, 33s, but just I couldn't get anywhere further than 10th.
And I mean, it's still a great recovery drive. I mean, you definitely had some ground to make up after having to make the unscheduled pit stop, so to speak, as I like to call it. But I mean, overall, coming into the season, I don't think you made the whole season. I think you came in about midway through. But happy with how the rounds that you made went here for you this season.
Hungaroring went well. I got stuck behind Rapid Duck at Donington, which is quite fun. We literally sat 8 tenths apart for the whole race. And yeah, happy with the way this went. Like it made it a wee bit more fun because if it was full slicks, I think I probably would have been fine. But yeah, no, it was really good fun. And as I said, I did join midway through the season, so hopefully do a full season next time around.
Yeah, and if that's the case, it's definitely going to be one of those drivers that's going to be potentially in that championship conversation at the end of next season as well. Like we said, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the competition just continues to get stiffer and it continues to grow here. But each new drivers that come in, it seems like lately, 1 out of every 3 of the new drivers coming in have some pretty incredible pace. So the competition is most certainly stiffening up here in the series. And I mean, that's just going to create much better racing as the future goes and closer, tighter racing as well. Looking forward to next season, planning on again taking the same car. You could maybe thinking about switching it up.
I was torn between trying something FR. I've never actually had a proper go at driving any FR, so probably be between the M4 or the AMG next season maybe, but I'm feeling very, very comfortable in McLaren, and I'm only really finding more pace as I'm going along.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a driver decision at that point on, as the season starts to loom, I guess, next season. And I guess we'll just have to wait to find out what Fish decides to get behind the wheel of next season. But, congratulations. Incredible pace out there at Misano here today. And, I mean, if that's any indication of the competition that you're going to bring to the series, I think, again, the drivers that are standing on the podium overall this season are looking over their shoulders at yet another name in the field that they're going to be thinking about in the back of their mind while these races are going on. So congratulations on a great set of races here tonight. Unfortunate for the strategy call, I guess, in race number 2, but good racing here tonight. And I guess any final remarks, any shout outs or thank yous you want to throw out to the viewers watching at home?
Cheers, thanks for us. But no, just thanks to all the other drivers, and thanks for letting me come in and race with you guys. It's great crack. it's really good fun. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely, and again, great racing tonight, and definitely hope to see you back for full season next season, putting pressure on these boys.
Cheers. Yep, we'll see you next season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to jump back to Johnny B really quick here. I just want to give Johnny B, of course, a chance to have any final remarks on his season, and of course, throw any shout-outs out there to everybody watching at home as well, or to who he wants to thank. So I'll give the mic and the floor back to you here for a minute, Johnny.
I just want to say thanks to everybody who sets it up and puts in all the hard work and organizes all this every week. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. I personally do not have a hand in that, so it would be poor on me not to thank them because, like I said, I'd have nowhere to race if it wasn't for them. Thanks to everybody, that races with us, especially the people that I battle with week in and week out. Man, it's a blast. I look forward to it. It keeps me going one week to the next. And thank you to you for commentating every week. You always make it fun to watch back, and I look forward to it every Sunday night when I'm done or Monday. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. And, Johnny B, we speak to Johnny B a lot, and, the competition's stiffening. So Johnny B is, this guy's a competitor. I mean, there's no quitting this driver. So I expect Johnny B to coming back with a mission next season, and again trying to chase down the top step and regain that number one on the side of his car here. But great season, tough battling out there, and can't wait to see what you're going to bring on track for us next season.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we're going to try to up a level or two for next season. So I got to try to get that number back. So look forward to see you.
Absolutely, and cheers. All right, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we always do this to the poor champion. Hey, we always make them wait forever and ever and ever to get their moment. But, JP qualified second in race number 1, had a 6th place finish in race number 1, made a pit stop, and got back up to 6th place. And then race number 2 qualified in 3rd position and finished just behind only the one and only Johnny B to take 2nd place in race number 2, and that was most certainly good enough for him to maintain his points lead and maintain that championship overall title here on the season. So first and foremost, congratulations on your championship and a really, really great hard-fought season. You came into a different car. You felt immediately comfortable in the car. You showed great pace in the car, and you drove a really great racing season. So how was tonight for you?
Thanks a lot. Yes, tonight was really tough. I tried really my best to finish this the best I could. Misano is not my best track at all. So I just wanted to make some damage control, and I think I pretty much got it right. My first race was really awful. I went for a tire change, which I almost instantly regretted. So this one, I wish I could have this one back, but I was trying to get fish and trying to keep Fluka out of my sight as much as I could, but Fluka was really fast, and fish as well, of course. Absolutely superior pace tonight. Second race went better. I'm really happy for Johnny. He was uncatchable up ahead, and also Fluka again at the back was driving great. So really good racing from everyone, I think, and very happy with this season also.
Now, there was a point in race number 2 where we were talking to the viewers. I think there was about 8 or 9 minutes left in the race. You were tucked in behind Johnny. You had about that 1 second gap. It kind of seemed like you were maybe thinking about applying a little bit of pressure there. But at that point in the race, did you know that you really didn't need to fight that battle? Like, were you aware that you had this thing locked down? All you had to do was just finish the race at that point? And was that going through your mind, or were you just kind of focused on the task at hand as lap by lap was going by?
Mm-hmm. No, but I was not pushing 100% maybe, but I was trying to put pressure still on Johnny B. I was trying to really win the race, but he was faster, and I was was making mistakes. I wasn't really dialed in 100% tonight. But no, I couldn't catch him. I knew he had to make a mistake, and I don't think he would have. So no, that's what happened mainly for me.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, like I said, with the sixth place finish, and Fluka finishing a few positions ahead of you guys in race number one, what was that playing on your mind a little bit too as well, knowing that he had gained some pretty decent points on you guys after race number one?
Yeah, but I was mainly focused on Johnny. Frank, I'm not sure what was the point of Fluka and how close he was after the first race, but maybe I would have thought about this if someone had told me after the first race. But I hope I can stay ahead in the championship. For sure.
I believe you're okay. I believe you're going to be okay on that. You had about a 20, I think it was a 28 or 30 points advantage over Fluka, but leading into race number one. So I mean, he gained some positions on you, but I don't think that he gained enough point spread to stress you out too much. I don't. At that point, your focus was most certainly in the right place. Of course, with the second place driver only 18 points behind you. So heading into tonight's double race format. So, but Fluka definitely threw himself into the conversation after race number one, and if race number two went any differently for yourself and Johnny B, there was potential there that he could have stole that away for sure. I think so. But I mean, overall, pretty happy with how your season went.
Yeah, sure. It was an awesome season. And also, thanks IRL, great organization as usual. Super League, great challenge also this year. I think there were some many good drivers. And also thanks to you, Ghost, as always. Great broadcast. Always a pleasure to watch this after the race.
I appreciate that. Always appreciate the kind words from you guys. But it's just a great racing action that continues to draw me back to the booth. So I agree with all the drivers and their assessments and their shout outs here today. Huge shout out to Infinite Racing League. The work that goes on in behind the scenes to manage not only the large drivers pool, but the logistics of running a season on ACC. They've got to deal with the SimGrid signups, of course, everything that happens through SimGrid. So if you're not a part of SimGrid and you want to race on ACC, ladies and gentlemen, www.thesimgrid, all lowercase.com. That'll take you to SimGrid. You sign up, you register just like you would anything else, Facebook account, whatever, and you have a username and a password, and then from there you can log in. You can find just hundreds of leagues that are available on the ACC platforms to go and compete in and race in. And RL is one of those leagues that's over there. That's how you register for these races every week here at the Infinite Racing League. So huge shout out to the officials. They do a lot behind the scenes, a lot of logistics with the SimGrid involved, of course. Their partners, Coach Dave Academy as well. A really great team effort happens here at Infinite Racing League to keep these things going, and they really put this season on the map. They whatever it is that they decided from last season to this season, it doubled the grid size all season long, and it really made for a productive, great season here. And I can't wait to see what kind of driver pool we have next season, because I expect it to be guys fighting for the last couple positions on the grid every week, and that would be fantastic. But it only comes because of the hard work of the volunteers behind the scenes. Fluka being one of those volunteers behind the scenes, a third place finisher. He's one of those great admin staff that helps organize things. And a huge shout out to the racers. They put in a ton of time for these races, to prepare for these races and put on this great show for the viewers. I mean, without the racers, we don't have a show to put on. And of course, thank you to you guys and gals at home watching, the fans. Just the drive and the reason behind organized league racing on all sim platforms, not just ACC. So I 100% agree with JP and Johnny B and Fluka and Fish here. A huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes that aren't seen at what they're doing and the forward progress that they're making for each organized league that we race in. So huge love for Infinite Racing League and the group and the driving community today, because best season yet so far for broadcasting. It's incredible to see these 30+ car grids go off on these amazing real life racetracks here with these real life race cars. So props to you guys drivers. Never take away anything from yourselves either. You each should be giving yourselves a huge round of applause and a pat on the back for a hard fought season, no matter where it is you finished on the season this season. absolutely spectacular season. I can't really wait to see what Infinite Racing League is going to bring back. But congratulations on, well, you get to put the number 1 on that car next season. So congratulations on a hard-fought season. And what's your goal, I guess, moving into next season?
Thanks. See you next time for sure.
And what's your goal for next season before we call it a night here?
Oh, my goal, well, for sure, defend my championship, of course.
Absolutely, and going to be able to get the full season in again next season?
I hope so.
Oh, that's what we love to see. So, I don't know, Chad. Right now, without new faces coming in next season already, I can have 8 names off the top of my head that are going to be fighting for those top 3 spots next season, and what's going to be defending champion JP is most certainly one of them. So congratulations on a well-deserved and hard-fought championship, and I can't wait to see what you're going to bring for us next season.
Thanks. See you soon, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what else can we say? That was a beautiful fall series. It was a beautiful track list. I think that the spread of shorter endurance to longer endurance races and then finishing the season off with a double sprint race format was pretty spectacular. It really gave an opportunity for drivers to make up some ground in the championship point standings for that last sprint race, and we've seen a battle up front here tonight in both those races for those top 4 spots. A huge extra special shout out to the Porsche driver Eris Rebos. This driver came in brand new this season. Of course, myself, I didn't know who he was, but a new face in the Infinite Racing League circuit, and completely, absolutely performed in a car apparently that isn't that easy to drive right now in the game. So, huge credit and a huge shout out to Eris Rebos. Unfortunate second race for him, but you know what? He got that car fixed. He got it back out on track, and he finished that race, and he scored what he could for points. And ultimately, no matter where that places him at the end of the season here, he's going to be looking at a top 6 finish in his first season here in a very, very strong field of drivers. So I just want to give an extra special shout out to Eris Rebos. He was very close there, and he's a contender for next season as well. So do not count Eris Rebos out next season either. If he can drive the Porsche out well, imagine what he can do with a car that's quote unquote, and I have this in air quotes, a meta car, or a car that seems to be stronger than maybe the rest in the field. So a huge shout out to Eris Rebos, and I just want to say a special thank you to Choco. He, of course, one of the head men over here at Infinite Racing League. The reason why I want to give a special shout out to Choco is, this guy goes at all ends of it. He's helping organizing the league. He's running his administration staff both on the North American and the European side of things here for the console racing as well. But he also takes time to come and join us in the booth and do some co-hosting with us throughout the season. And he always provides a very fantastic, fun side of the commentary booth. So I just want to say extra special thanks to Choco for all the extra hard work he does. I have a lot of conversations behind the scenes with him, as he's my contact with IRL and typically the gentleman I deal with. He's on the ball. He really cares about his community. He really cares about this league and what you guys are and everybody here is doing and working together to try and achieve. So huge shout out to Choco. The guy works hard, and I hope you're seeing your dream come to fruition, my man. And well, I'm not sure when the next season is coming, chat, but stay tuned in at the GT45 server, the IRL server, of course, on SimGrid for those announcements of when Infinite Racing League is going to be dropping their next GT3 Championship Series and what is going to be at stake. But for now, on behalf of the Infinite Racing League, Coach Dave Academy, and SimGrid, I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and it's been an absolute honor and pleasure to broadcast and be in the booth with you guys all season long, and we hope to see you back next season. Remember, you all matter. Stay winning and stay fast and efficient out there, ladies and gentlemen. Fast and efficient. We appreciate y'all, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath.
My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm